Hi everyone, this is Victoria Fashen and welcome back to my channel. I know I am overdue on making this video. I was supposed to release it on Friday. However, a couple days before Christmas, I had to do some Christmas shopping. I just absolutely had no time to edit the video. I did record. However, I was unable to edit previous video I made and I didn't like how I look, honestly. So that's why I'm here making a new video. This video is going to be all over the place. It's going to be my thought, my opinions about the recent state of the whole goth subculture. So just bear with me because usually videos that I discuss anything about the subculture, I already have it all planned out. I already know what topics I'm going to discuss. So I'm just going to wing it from here. I think I want to say from within the past 5 years, I think before the pandemic, I started having disinterest in this goth subculture. Not necessarily fashion or the music, just the whole social aspect of it all. I don't really go out to clubs anymore. I used to go to the clubs religiously. Don't really like the clubs nowadays. Know that there's a lot more clubs now in the LA goth scene, but I just feel like there's a lack of authenticity and disingenuous, and it's usually the same kind of bands that they always put, whether if it's either the stapled artist, and if it's not the stapled artist, it's like new or goth music that pertains more to the mass media. If it's not, the mass media bands that you hear on TikTok or Instagram. For example, a big one is Boy Harsher, and I'm not really a big fan of Boy Harsher. You know, they have catchy tunes, but I'm not a big fan of them. So that's an example that why I don't really like going out to the clubs anymore. Another reason that I just don't go out, I notice a lot of people are a lot more lazy in regards to their fashion. Again, I'm not trying to judge. This is just observation from what I've noticed in the course of the years that have gone by. Even the fashion doesn't look authentic, and that does bother me. It bothers me because I just feel again, there's a lot of disingenuous in the subculture now, especially in the LA scene. I think I'm at a point in my journey of the subculture. There's a specific point where goths, elder goths, they don't go out to the clubs religiously anymore. Instead, they go to support a artist, whether if it's a live artist, whether if it's a local band, or if it's a huge band like Bauhaus. I think I'm at that point in my life, in this journey within being in the subculture for almost 20 years. I don't necessarily like to go out and socialize anymore. However, I know this is a goth subculture channel, and this is where what I really wanted to start off in this channel. I do feel bad sometimes that I don't go out anymore. I don't go out to the clubs. I don't go out to just doing anything at all, really. But I think I'm just in a point that I just, in my personal life, where I'm okay where I'm at, and I actually like my own time and spending time. I don't really like socializing anymore. It's just not fun for me. And I hate to say this too, even though I'm very open and I share a lot on social media, I also believe in self-preservation. Have a lot of people in my energy, especially at the clubs, because I notice that there's a lot of substances involved. If it's not substances, always act weird, especially the guys. I usually go dress to the nines, especially when I go to the club. I don't half-ass it. And that's another thing. What the hell is up with people just wearing jeans and a black t-shirt? What the hell is up with that? That drives me insane. Why? I don't you're at a club. You're supposed to dress up. Anyways, I personally just don't like people getting in my business, and I get very aggressive, and I'm not afraid to say that because I'm very protective and my energy and the people around me. The last couple of years, I have had incidents where I always have to watch my back because there's always somebody acting very obnoxious at the club, and it's usually like a hipster. And if it's not a hipster, it's like somebody like a normie touched me, they've made fun of me, you know, they've grabbed some of my like accessories, and that's something I don't like at all, especially when somebody touches me, like, and I don't give them the authority to do that. And another thing, I hate to say this because I'm probably gonna be frowned upon in the LA scene, but I don't like the drama. Every week there's always drama. Always some sort of drama. I'm honestly tired of it. It's always been like that as long as I've remembered and I've gotten involved in the subculture. I just don't want to deal with that anymore. Like, I don't even like hearing about it. It's not even fun. It's like, I'm sorry to say, but you're grown-ass adults. Like, start acting like it. However, there are some clubs that I will go ahead and support. I will go to the clubs. I will go and support them because I do believe in them. They do have the essence of the goth scene, how I remembered it, and how it used to be like. You know, those clubs are like, for example, Club Purgatory or Noctis, or let's see, what's another one? If there's like a special event that like Coven 13, or if it's the guys that Evil Empire, sorry, I forgot what it's called right now, but I had a brain fart, but like reunion clubs like Helter Skelter or Perversion, or, you know, those kinds of clubs, those are the clubs I will go ahead and support. And if it's not them, even like Release the Bats sometimes. And that's like, you know, and of course, one of my best friends who I grew up in the scene, I go ahead and support some of their events, even though I feel like I haven't done enough supporting. And I just want to be able to just enjoy the music, enjoy the bands, and that's where I'm at in regards to like going out, supporting the scene. Now that I'm talking about shows, clubs, events, mostly you will see me. You know, I travel a lot. You know that I like to go out and venture off to other cities. I like to go to the club, check out their clubs. I like to meet you. Like if I know you and I know that you're living and we've been online friends, I go to support the clubs over there. Any city or state that I go visit, it's always interesting to see other kinds of goth clubs in different cities, especially in the US. My biggest dream, of course, is visiting clubs in Europe, like in London, like Slimelight, also in Madrid, Spain. That's another club, like clubs on my bucket list. Clubs in Germany, that's my biggest dream. But you know, of course, like I'm trying to think realistic, and for now it's like the US is something I'm very much more, I can reach for a lot sooner. Each goth scene in every state is unique, has its own influence. Like over here you'll hear a lot of Boy Harsher, Lebanon Hanover, or like the newer dark wave, which to be honest I don't consider dark wave, and death rock. In San Francisco I noticed there was more Cocktail Twins that were playing, and there was more Dead Can Dance, even David Bowie, and a little bit of everything. I still haven't gone to a goth club in Portland. I've gone to the Coffin Club, but what I mean to say, I haven't gone to a goth night there. I've been to, of course, New York. I'm hoping to go to Chicago. One of the best clubs I've gone to so far in club events is in Mexico City. So you cannot top that so far in my traveling. Also, as I've gotten a lot older, I am a lot more into like classic rock, especially like what they call prototype goth, like, you know, Nico, Lou Reed, David Bowie, The Doors. Like I am very much more into those kinds of bands now, and also I'm a lot into like 70s music and shoegaze. So even though my music palette derives from like a lot of genres now, I definitely, of course, I still like goth is always going to be number one for me. I don't know why every time I come here and sit down, like I get a raspy voice. Like my voice starts getting so dry. It's so annoying. Anyways, I am also now in my 30s. I'm in my early 30s, and I now feel like in a goth's life, you become the like when you're a baby bat and when you're like just starting out in the subculture, you will attend every club, you will attend every party, whatever or like go to shows, art shows, whatever the case is. But now I'm at a point in my life, especially in the stage in the goth scene where I'm at, that now if I am gonna go out, it's either clubs or I'm gonna go ahead and give back to the subculture. And by me like being behind the camera is giving back to the subculture. I have a lot of ideas that I'm slowly but surely want to execute and put them out into the universe and start creating a lot more. But you know, right now I'm just in the brainstorm process and do want to give back more to the scene, especially like enjoying the subculture to curating to the subculture and being a curator, I mean. And I think that's wonderful, and that's like a way of giving back. That's a way of giving back to the community. Because I think it almost feels like a duty as well. I now want to focus more on my art. I want to focus on my entrepreneurship. Really, really, really feel like I do have a calling in discussing about ethereal wave, because that's obviously like my number one. When my heart feels sad, that's what ethereal wave uplifts my spirit. Now it's the perfect time to talk about it. And I want to emphasize the importance of it now. And I think that I am slowly seeing a comeback with shoegaze and also dream pop and ethereal. And even though I'm not too happy about how darkwave evolved, and I feel like it's lost its touch, it's lost its grit, and I personally don't like it anymore. I don't like the darkwave that is now popular. And it's not because it's popular, it's because it all sounds the same. And there's no uniqueness to it. It's just, I love the older sounds of darkwave. There was a lot more soul, a lot more sadness and ominous undertones. It was more melodic and atmospheric. And I feel like now it just sounds like a copy and paste of any other modern band. You know, I think there comes a stage in a goth's life that you have to curate, and I think that's like it's almost like an unspoken duty. Some of the aspects I don't like about the subculture anymore is that, from what I remember, the goth subculture, when I got into it, punk was more political. Goth has become a lot more political. And I'm not saying I'm apolitical, because I'm not. But at the same time, being creative, not only about being creative about the music, of course, but also intellectualism. The most intriguing aspects of the scene, of the music, of this community is the fact that if you were a person of color into whatever religion you were, as well as being a part of the LGBTQ community, it was very open. There was already, I also do think that now, because of everything that's going on with politics, goth has gotten a lot political, when back then it wasn't. Politics has infected the community, because honestly, that was like my escape. Like the community, the scene was my escape from all the bullshit, from everything that's happening in our society. I miss the aspect that being an intellect was very important. Being eloquent with the way you speak is important. There was an importance to it. From observing what's been going on, it's definitely lost that. Now, anybody can say they're goth because they listen to music, but You talk to somebody, there's nothing in here, you know? I speak to somebody and they're very passionate about their hobbies, their interest, and they're very knowledgeable about, you know, whatever, about art or about music or about their bands or whatever the case, whatever people are passionate about. I miss that. I really do feel like that, like I also feel like, you know, again, you're going to have certain people in the subculture, with any subculture, that are a few bad apples, you know, and of course I've had that experience in my own past couple of years. Another thing too is that there's a reason why I don't like talking about what goth is and what goth isn't. People constantly explaining what goth is, what goth isn't. You know, I know a lot of people don't know about it, but what you don't realize, the goth subculture had a sense of mystery to it. And the sensualism, the mysticism part, the magic, it's like, by you constantly explaining it's about the music is the glue. It's the center. But it is a subculture derived from different influences from the Victorian Gothic, the Victorian era. You know, films too, like films have brought so much influence in this subculture. And for example, like especially German Expressionism, which that video coming up, I don't know when, but it will definitely be coming up. It's like, again, it's that individuality, bringing your creativity up forth and up front. Yes, it derived from punk, but it's also derived from other influences from literature. There's even songs. For example, Support Eternus created a song that was influenced by Edgar Allan Poe, and it's called The Sleeper. That's just one example. There's just an saturated of videos talking about the same subject over and over and over again. I know a part of it has to do with the algorithm, but it's also just so tiring to see the same kind of videos all over again for the past 10 years about what goth is or what goth isn't, goth versus gothic, all that bullshit. Like, I'm tired of it. Like, I don't even watch goth YouTube videos. I like watching other videos about music at all, you know, if it's not about consumerism or it's about those subjects, and I'm tired of it and I don't like watching that content. So I mean, I think that's where I stand in that. I don't think I am gonna do a video what goth is and what goth isn't. I'd rather just tell you about the history. I do want to have my own there's certain videos I want to make that is about my perspective of like the history of goth and death rock and all that. But I don't see myself making videos about discussing what previous videos, like I've mentioned before. A waste of time in my eyes. And I'm not going to explain to somebody what goth is or what goth isn't, because there's also the internet. The internet's very accessible. There's a ton of history about and a ton of resources, the history of goth, what goth music is. And I mean, that's really all I have to say and what I can think of about the scene, how I just like in the state where it's at now. I do want to say that I am very proud of Baby Bats because there's a lot more now, and there's a lot of Baby Bats and a lot of youngsters that are keeping the scene alive, and that just flutters my heart with joy, just to see that, and just to see that are people that are still very passionate about the subculture. I'm slowly decaying. The group of like the millennials are decaying, you know. We're still young, but we're not as young anymore. But it's still nice to see that Baby Bats are keeping the scene alive, enjoying it, and just seeing like how you guys is like an album sparks your heart and your eyes. It's nice to see. That's very refreshing. I think that's pretty much it, what I really have to say. Again, I think that's a lot where I'm at. This is where I stand in the subculture. Definitely, I'm going to make a lot more goth content. What are your thoughts and opinions, like, about how the goth subculture has evolved? What are some of the things that you like or don't like about the scene now? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it was very informative. And again, these are my opinions. If you like more of my videos, please remember to like and subscribe on my channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!